Welcome everybody to the Latin Nerds Network. My name is Jose and this is my review for One Battle After Another. A film starring, of course, the great Leonardo DiCaprio, who I'm a big fan of. Of course, this is the newest Paul Thomas Anderson film. I'm not a huge fan of Anderson in particular. I know he's a kind of a Hollywood darling. All the critics fawn over his films, and like, he's good, but he's kind of a mixed bag for me personally. This is my opinion. But this movie has gotten a lot of attention, a lot of positive praise, 100% Rotten Tomatoes or whatever the case is. So listen, I was interested. I liked I saw the trailer. I liked the trailer. It looked very interesting. And overall, I would say that I enjoyed it. I liked it, but I don't think it's as good as what you may be hearing personally. I've heard instant classic and all that. Calm down. Let's just bring this back. I know it's Paul Thomas Anderson and oh my God, but I don't think it's to that level, but it's a good film. I really enjoyed it here. I do like the premise, right? And I think Paul Thomas Anderson actually wrote and directed the film. This one here we have DiCaprio, who is him and his girlfriend are in this organization that I think is the French 75 is what they call themselves, revolutionists. They're kind of going anti-government and pro-immigrants, and they're releasing immigrants and throwing up bombs in certain locations and all that, causing chaos. And I guess one day, she ends up getting pregnant, gives birth to a young daughter. But the mom, she just can't let that life go. And she goes back to doing what she does. She's very militant, very dedicated to the cause, if you will. And after a botched incident, she gets captured and ends up, kind of running off on her own, right? Running from the law, if you will, up to a certain point. So now, DiCaprio's left alone raising the daughter, and 15 years pass, and he's kind of out of that business, if you will. He's doing his own thing. He's keeping her daughter safe. But now the powers that be, who were after that organization prior, are still going at it. Of course, led by Sean Penn, who's really interesting in this film. He's really good, interesting character. He's after them, and he's trying to keep his daughter safe. The revolutionaries still around actually find the daughter to keep her safe, and now DiCaprio is scrambling around to try to get to her before Sean Penn and the crew can get to her as well first. So that's basically the basic setup here. And listen, I gotta say, first of all, this movie's a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be. I love DiCaprio's character. He's definitely offbeat. He's unhinged here at times, and he's panicking. Obviously, he loves his daughter, and he's trying to find out who she is, and he just doesn't know exactly where to go and who to turn to and how to find her. But it's actually a lot of funny one-liners in there, the funny moments in there, a lot of more kookiness than I thought this movie was going to have. So I appreciate that. I like the story itself. It's an interesting story. It's relevant to particularly with the immigration angle, what's going on today in the political landscape, of course. So that works well. The Benicio del Toro's in this is really good. The daughter is great. I forget her name, but she's fantastic in the movie itself. So there's some good performances here all the way around. A lot funny, a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be. It definitely holds your attention for a large part of the film. The biggest issues for me is that this movie is like 2 hours and 40 minutes prior to credits. It's long. And this movie is not that intricate, not that layered for this movie to be that long. This is a 2 hour film at best. So as we get close to the third act, it starts losing some steam, and the story is just not as interesting where it needs to be explored for 2 hours and 40 minutes. It's not. Sorry, but that said, there are some entertaining moments. The ending, the third act takes by the time it's just so long that feels like it takes longer than it needs to be. There's a particular incident with Sean Penn's character which really didn't make any sense in terms of how it developed after this particular incident occurs. I don't want to spoil anything, but it was kind of pointless, and it just added to the runtime unnecessarily. They could have just gone to the second part of that scene or not done the first part. And again, it's hard to talk about, but when you see it, you know what I'm talking about. Where you thought it may lead to something, and it really doesn't. So it's kind of pointless. But overall, again, it was solid. Again, it wasn't a great story. It was a good story. It was well done, decently written. It just took too long to kind of resolve, and it was unnecessary. But again, it was still entertaining. DiCaprio's great. It's funny than I thought it was gonna be. So I'm still recommending to go see the movie. Just curb the expectations. This isn't like best picture movie kind of thing. I'm sure it probably will get nominated because it has the name Paul Thomas Anderson. Fine, but it's a good film. I still enjoyed it. Some good things about it. Just had some issues, but overall, and I don't think it's a movie for everybody. I really don't. But I think a movie, if you like Paul Thomas Anderson, you probably will dig this one. If you're interested, you like DiCaprio, you probably will dig this one. But just curb the expectations, is all I'm saying. But this is definitely one that I wouldn't say you have to go to the theater and watch. You can easily watch this at home, and it comes out in a few months on streaming, VOD, and what have you the case is. So one battle after another, you guys are gonna watch it. If you do, comment below. Maybe this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Fair enough. Maybe I'm just nuts. Won't be the first time I heard that. Won't be the last. Comment below. Let me know your thoughts. And of course, if you haven't done so already, subscribe below and feed money to go to the movies and talk about it afterwards. See you guys next time.